I never imagined the day a street kid would make my silent daughter speak, until it happened in the heart of the city. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. It started like any other, gray skies looming overhead. The weight of silence hung over us, so heavy it was suffocating. I held my breath, feeling like I was drowning in our shared quiet. My daughter, Lily, with her wide, sorrowful eyes and trembling hands, barely moved. I watched her lips form words never spoken, secrets trapped in her throat. Our little apartment was a snug cage. The world outside was alive, colors flashing, voices shouting, music pulsing. But inside, we were surrounded by darkness. Lily hadn't spoken a single word since the accident, her voice lost along with her laughter that day. I remember the echoes of her giggles getting swallowed by the chaos. She had been a bright light, my sunshine. I was desperate for that spark to return. Every day, I tried to coax her out of her shell. I'd read her stories, play her favorite songs, but the silence cried louder than anything I could offer. And just when hope simmered in my chest, it was dashed again. I felt like a weight. I was trying to pull her from an abyss that I couldn't even see. Then came the street kid. He appeared out of nowhere, a flash of wild energy, dirt-smudged and full of life. I remember the way he moved, like a whirlwind, darting between the people on the street. His laughter was contagious, cutting through the stillness of the city. The shock of his joy made me turn my head, every instinct screaming to ignore him. But when he leaped over a puddle, it was like a spell was cast. "Hey, you." He pointed at Lily, who flinched at the unexpected attention. "What's wrong? Why so quiet?" His voice had a rough edge, but there was a spark in his eyes. I felt a twist in my gut, a mix of fear and curiosity. My heart raced as I watched him approach her. "Stay away." I wanted to shout. Who was he to her? But something in the air shifted. For the first time, Lily's gaze softened. Her mouth trembled as if she was about to break the barrier of silence. "Just a peek?" he asked with a teasing grin that made my heart flutter. "You look like a sticker on a wall masterpiece, but stuck. Speak up." I held my breath. Would she? Would she really speak? The street kid leaned closer, oblivious to everything but her, and I thought I saw something flicker in Lily's eyes, a spark of life, a taking back of something that was hers. The chaos of the city faded behind us. Time stopped, and for one fragile moment, we were drawn into a small bubble of possibility. But then she swallowed hard. Would she say it? What would she say? What could she say? I felt the world hold its breath, mine pounding in my ears. I thought I might burst. The kid's gaze was steady, unwavering. My daughter's lips parted, and the air felt electric. I barely processed the sudden commotion around us. The murmur of the crowd grew louder. Surprised whispers floated in the breeze. Is she going to talk? Is she really? I realized I wasn't the only one watching. Curious eyes turned toward us, the street kid still hovering near her, his intensity locked on her face. But then, a loud crash sounded nearby. A car screeched, glass shattered, people screamed. Panic surged through the crowd, a wave of chaos pushing me back. I couldn't see Lily anymore. In that split second, everything unraveled. The street kid was gone, the crowd surged like a tide, and just like that, the moment slipped away. Then I found her, wide-eyed and trembling, as the world around us howled. Silence followed with explosive clarity. It felt like a dark promise hanging in the air. Something had shifted, something had stirred. What would she say? I felt the shaky hands of hope gripping my chest, but before I could reach out to her, I wasn't sure if it was too late. What revelations remained trapped within her heart? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The light of day faded into an inky darkness, but in our apartment, the silence felt sharper, more oppressive than before. Lily sat curled up on the worn-out couch, her gaze fixed on the floor, tracing patterns in the carpet as if searching for answers there. I wished I could reach into her mind, pull out whatever it was that held her captive, and release her into the world beyond our walls. That moment with the street kid echoed in the stillness, a haunting reminder of what could have been. My heart ached with an unsettling blend of hope and fear. I knew the spark was there, buried beneath layers of sorrow, but each second that passed without her words felt like another nail in a coffin of possibility. "Lily," I murmured, wrapping my arms around myself, feeling the warmth of her small body, even from a distance. "Would you like to draw? Or maybe listen to some music?" I hesitated, the words tumbling out like pebbles down a steep hill. I was grasping at straws, fending off the deepening dark. She remained still, like a statue holding her breath. Then, as if summoned by the weight of our unspoken thoughts, the doorbell rang. I looked up, startled. Who could it be? It was late, and I hadn't arranged for visitors. But the urgency in that chime pushed me to move. I opened the door, and my breath caught in my throat. There stood the street kid, his bright eyes sparkling, hair tousled like he had just run through a storm. Behind him, the night was alive with a chorus of distant sirens and the soft hum of city life. "Hey," he exclaimed, his grin wide, infectious. "I didn't think I'd see you again. What are you doing here?" I asked, half shocked and half relieved. Before he could respond, he stepped aside, revealing a small bundle cradled in his arms. "I brought you something." Lily peeked over the couch, curiosity igniting the flicker of hope within me. I could see the tension in her small shoulders start to ease as she took in the sight of him. The boy knelt down, careful not to overwhelm her, and gently placed the bundle on the carpet. A small, scruffy puppy burst forth, wagging its tail furiously, a ball of brown fur and pure mischief. Lily's eyes widened, the first genuine spark of emotion visible in days. The street kid glanced at her, and then back at the puppy. "I found him roaming around. Thought he might need a home," he said, his voice softening, as if he could sense the shift in the atmosphere. "What do you think?" Without waiting for an answer, he reached out, letting the puppy sniff his fingers. "Hey buddy, this is Lily. She's a quiet girl, but I bet you'll get her to talk." "Huh?" My heart fluttered at his playful tone, a reminder of the joy that could still exist among the shadows. Slowly, Lily approached, her small fingers reaching out to touch the puppy. The moment was electric. Her body radiated uncertainty, and yet she took a breath so deep it filled the silence like an orchestra preparing to play. "His name is Max," the street kid declared with unrestrained enthusiasm. "He's a little rascal, just like me." He winked at Lily, and in that instant, something shifted. Something powerful. Lily knelt, her face illuminating with a bright smile as she gently cradled Max, whispering soft sounds, almost like music. I could feel a rare, warm pulse of hope seep through the cracks in my heart. But just as joy began to unfurl its wings, the darkness crept back in. The memories of the accident closed in, like a heavy fog settling around us. The shadows of the past loomed closer, whispering fears into my mind. Would this fleeting moment of connection last? Would Lily's fear of the world douse the hope that bubbled within? I couldn't shake the feeling that everything was balancing on a precipice, that the sweetness of this scene might come on the heels of all that pain. The street kid's bright belief in Lily, a flame against the night, would soon face a harsh reality. As Max wagged his tail, licking Lily's fingertips, I caught the street kid's eye. "Thank you," I whispered, the weight of gratitude mixed with something deeper and unnameable. But as I spoke, a sudden harried shout from outside splintered through our sanctuary. "Get back! Call the police!" A voice cut through the air, rising in panic. The street kid's eyes flickered with recognition, and for the first time, a shadow flickered across his face, a hint of urgency, of fear unspooled. His grip tightened around the doorframe. "What's happening?" I started, but the street kid interrupted. "That I have to go. Now." And just like that, he dashed outside, blending into the chaos blooming in the street. "Wait." I called after him, but he was gone, swallowed up by the dark. I turned to Lily, who held Max tightly against her chest, fear etched across her delicate features. That little spark of connection felt wobbly, like a candle flickering in a storm. What revelation would lay ahead in this night of shadows? Would Lily's silence be filled with words anew, or would the darkness take her voice away once more? Each question simmered unvoiced between us, weaving a thread of unease through the warmth of the puppy's affection. As the cries of the city echoed through my window, I felt a sudden chill, a sense that the street kid's return might not just be to us, but a prelude to something much more profound and haunting. The flickering streetlight cast trembling shadows across our living room, and for a fleeting moment, the world outside, everything felt far away. Lily was still entranced by Max, who had wriggled free from her grasp only to explore the corners of our apartment with unquenchable curiosity. She giggled softly as he chased after a stray piece of lint, the sound breaking through the thick silence like a ray of sunshine piercing a dense fog. Yet, the laughter couldn't drown out the tension that lingered in the air like an unresolved chord. The street kid's abrupt departure loomed over us, the energy had infused into our space still palpable. I glanced at the glimmer of Lily's smile, desperately hoping it would grow. "Do you like him?" I asked softly, sitting beside her on the floor, the warmth from the pup radiating against her leg. She turned to me, her blue eyes piercing through the shadows. "Yes," she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. It felt monumental, the way her words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. My heart leaped, a tiny, perfect flutter amidst the overwhelming uncertainty. "Good," I replied, attempting to keep my composure. "I'll be your friend." I wanted to say more, encourage her to share her thoughts, but I hesitated. The fear of pushing too hard loomed, the instinct to protect her from the unpredictability of emotions suffocating me. Lily's fingers traced the silky fur of Max as he snuggled against her, and for a moment, the past receded. The laughter of children echoed in my mind, stark against the silence we'd lived in for far too long. I forced my eyes away, trying to quell the tidal wave of sorrow creeping in once again. "It's dark outside, isn't it?" I said, shifting the conversation, hoping to anchor her further in the present. She nodded slowly, as if weighing the thought carefully. "Sometimes it's scary," she whispered, clutching Max tight. "What if we keep the lights on?" I suggested, feeling a surge of determination. "And maybe put on a movie? Something funny. How about that?" Slowly, she nodded again, her gaze shifting towards the TV stand, as if considering the possibility flickering images, laughter, and colors to push away shadows. Before I could rise to turn on the television, my phone buzzed insistently on the coffee table. I picked it up, my heart sinking at the sight of the unknown number. Hesitant breaths echoed around me as I answered, a wave of apprehension prickling every nerve. "Hello? Is this Evelyn?" The voice was clipped, urgent. "Yes, it is. Who is this?" Panic surged, coiling tight in my chest. "Listen to me carefully. There may not be much time. I need you to stay inside with Lily. Lock the doors." "What's happening? Who are you?" "There are people looking for that kid you had at your apartment." "What's his name?" "The street kid?" "Wait, what? What do you mean?" "Max," came the reply, flat and cold. "Those people are dangerous. He's in trouble. He needs your help. You need to keep Lily safe." "Please, I can't say more right now." Wait, the line went dead. I froze, the color draining from my face like the last light of day. The shadows thickened instinctively around me, whispering fear, while the flickering TV screen became a beacon of anxiety. I glanced over at Lily, blissfully unaware, still occupied with Max and the world he brought in with him. "Lily," I began, the tremor in my voice catching her attention. "We might need to, Mom." Her voice was a soft caress, breaking through the fog. "I need you to listen carefully," but the doorbell rang again, echoing through the silence of our home. A chill skated down my spine, deepening the shadows in my heart. Although I wanted to tell her to hide, instincts told me not to alarm her. I looked at her, her innocence shining amidst growing darkness, and I couldn't shake the desperate need to protect her. "Stay here with Max," I told her, standing up, every muscle in my body coiling with anxiety. "Who is it?" she asked, her voice trembling. "They'll check." As I moved to the door, uncertainty gnawed at me, pushing me forwards even as each step felt like walking through thick mud. I glanced back at the living room where Lily cradled Max, their silhouettes stark against the backdrop of fear that had returned like a relentless tide. I opened the door cautiously, breath hitching in my throat. There stood two figures, faces obscured by the shadows of night, eyes gleaming with an unsettling intensity. "Is the street kid here?" one of them demanded, urgency dripping from his tone. The question hung heavily, a pendulum swinging ominously, and suddenly, the lightness of the moment slipped away, replaced by a profound darkness that wrapped itself tightly around us. Would this be where our tentative connection ended, swallowed by uncertainties that threatened to consume everything? With Lily behind me, heart pounding, the ground felt unsteady beneath my feet. And just like that, the emotional cliff hung precariously before me. What would I do to protect my daughter if the moment called for it? As I stood frozen at the door, the sharp edges of the night pressed in against my skin. The two figures loomed larger, unwavering in their demand, and I felt Lily's tiny heartbeat echoing behind me, mixing with my trepidation. I forced myself to look into the strangers' faces, trying to read the intent behind their urgency, grappling with the fear now like a vice around my chest. Who wants him? I managed to rasp, my throat dry. I needed answers, needed to buy time, but each word felt like a gamble, a dangerous game. Just some friends of his, the second figure said, his voice dripping with a false sincerity that sent chills down my spine. We're here to take him back. You understand, right? No. My voice wavered, yet I stood taller as if my posture could somehow shield Lily from their predatory gaze. You can't just come here and take him. He's just a kid. Listen, the first figure said, stepping closer, his shadow swallowing me whole. If you want to keep your daughter safe, you need to give him to us. He's in deep trouble. He's with us now, I replied, my tone steadier than I felt. You'll have to go through me. The tension thickened like a storm cloud above, and the gravity of my defiance hung in the air. I could feel the pull of a calamity forming behind me, the tenuous bond of mother and daughter stretched to its limits. Yet at that moment, a flicker of light danced within me, heart fighting back. Did I see okay? Lily's voice cut through, small and delicate, but fierce with curiosity. She had moved closer, puppy cradled in her arms. I turned, seeing her wide, innocent eyes searching for reassurance in the midst of chaos. Stay back, sweetheart, I whispered urgently, a plea woven with love. One look at her angelic face sent another wave of determination flooding through me. I would not let danger be her reality now. Suddenly, the second figure stepped forward with an impatient edge. You don't understand. People are going to get hurt if you don't hand him over right now. Hurt. The word festered in my mind. I glanced back, a moment's lapse allowing me to see the chaos this could unleash upon Lily's delicate world. This conversation wasn't just about Max anymore. It was about the quiet safety